Having pro level rotation in the downswing is way easier when you do this. And if you don't believe me, here are two golfers who shouldn't on paper be able to rotate at all. That is one, my senior golfer student who is 76 years young and rotates better than quite a lot of the top players in the world. And two, here is me, a disabled golfer who can rotate, again, as good as any top touring professional. So let's get right into how you can use this and make rotation way easier in the downswing. And what this key move is keeping the left side of your pelvis down as you turn in the downswing. This really gets you to where you are rotating nice, continuous and smooth. So if you're a golfer who really struggles with stalling out their rotation, flipping through the golf ball, you might look okay early, but then it all comes to a halt. This is great for you. So no matter how open you are able to get, so how rotated, this is something that will help you with the most important part of rotation, which is making it nice and smooth and continuous. So no matter whether you like Francesco Molinari here, just getting a tiny bit open, or Dustin Johnson on the other end of the spectrum, extremely open with the hips, this is something that they both share in common that we're going to dive into. So let's explain this move more, but talk about it whilst demonstrating the drill I want you all to do. So just grab an alignment stick and put the alignment stick through the belt loops of your trousers. Now what we do with this stick, this represents that hip tilt, that left side. Of course, we want a lot of the stick coming out on that left side, a tiny bit coming out the right there. And we want this stick immediately to be pointing down and turning around in the downswing. So it's so incredibly important because, like we said, that keeps the rotation continuous. Because what a lot of you try to do out there, you have that left side bump. So this is where a lot of golfers try to bump the hips, then turn. But what does that do? When you bump those hips, that left side raises up. So when that left side raises up, it will slide the pelvis away, tilt the upper body a little bit back, and make it really hard to keep that rotation flowing. This is why so many golfers, when they try to rotate more, they hurt their lower backs. It's because you're rotating with a hip bump, upper body tilts back, and then as soon as you try to open up, it really does hurt. You won't be able to open up and rotate more going through the golf ball. This is where you see quite a lot of young players, for example, get themselves to where they rotate a ton early with the hips, and then from there, no more rotation happens, and they just throw the hands through the shot. It's because they have hip bumped, lifted up the left side of the pelvis, and then from there, we can't continue to turn. So that conceptual change is so important when doing this. And like we said, getting that left side to go down and turn gets one, the pressure moving into the lead side. It will still move you laterally towards a target, but not independently with the hips. It's going to be with everything's going to drift when we're having that left side down, pressure shift getting into that lead side. And then, like we said, we want that movement of that stick to go back, which is the left hip going back. And this will give you that continuous free-flowing rotation. You won't dump out with that overturning early from lifting up that lead side. It's going to be nice and continuous, so you won't have to worry about the spinning out type of move. So, and if you do spin out doing this, that's because the right side is pushing forward. If we're getting that left hip going back and around, the right side will want to stay more back. So really, really important here. A really good one to do, and I've done this a ton with my own game in the past. It's what really got me to where I can rotate really well, like we could see there from my swing. Absolutely, like I said, I'm a disabled golfer who has cerebral palsy that affects the left side, so I really struggle with mobility. That is the amount I can squat. So I have very poor lower body mobility. So on paper, I'm someone who, in no stretch of the imagination, should be able to turn and rotate if we're going by conventional wisdom of what you hear people saying about rotation all the time. And even with my student, my senior golfer student, 76 years young, we can see him as well. We've done this exact same drill with him to get him better tilt, and he opens up better than you see most tour players open up, and he shouldn't be able to do that at his age because that's what we're told to believe. And this is a component for so many golfers who cannot rotate nicely. We see them have that left side immediately bump up. We can't have the bump and the turn we need to keep the left side down. So my brand new winter improvement plan is in full swing, and it's not only proven to be incredibly popular, but it's also providing unbelievable results. And what this online lesson plan is with myself, it is 4 lessons per month for under the price of 2 individual lessons, unlimited communication, so messaging back and forth with myself. Any questions you have, you can ask me whenever. And also, I've now included, not only on my winter plan, but on all my plans on Skillist, free access to all my video courses. So if you sign up to any of my plans, winter one absolutely included, you can get all my courses. So whether it's the new early extension course, rotation, shallowing, or over the top, you can watch all of them for no extra cost with that subscription. And of course, if you just want to pick up one of those awesome guides, which are absolutely packed with amazing information, way deeper than I could ever go on here on YouTube, and with amazing drills that are tailored to you specifically, you can pick those up individually also over on Skillist. The link for all of this is down in the description here. And if you also want just to have individual lessons with myself, so I've got 3 different packages of individual lessons, you can absolutely choose from those too. So if you don't want to do a plan, that's absolutely fine. I'll be more than happy to work with you regardless. So let's make 2024 season your best season ever. Link in description for online lessons with myself. So just like we mentioned before, we mentioned Francesco Molinari and Dustin Johnson, 2 players that are on different ends of the spectrum when it comes to how open we can get. And discussing this topic, we need to understand these 2 swings, because these 2 swings really showcase the 2 different types of rotation in the golf swing. So we all have this 2 different types of rotation. One, how open can we get? You can clearly see Dustin Johnson, Francesco Molinari, completely different on that front. They both get 2 different amounts of open at impact. Now, this is when people think of rotation, this is what they think of. How open can you get? That's where a lot of golfers can be led to believe they can't rotate, because absolutely, most golfers, especially at the same age as my senior golfer student, won't be able to rotate that much. But that's not the important part of rotation. Francesco Molinari showcases the important part. For someone who is, barely gets open at all, as we could see, it's the continuation of turning. And let's look at the front on here, side by side of these 2 great players. They both keep that left side down as they're turning. They both do it. So they're not doing the hip bump. They're not doing that and trying to turn and then having that nightmare happen. These are 2 players who've had great longevity in their game. Obviously, they're still going, and they haven't had too many back injuries. Dustin Johnson had a back injury when he fell down the stairs, if we remember that Masters. So that wasn't, of course, due to his golf swing. So absolutely, left side down. Seeing those 2 different players really showcases we do not need to get massively open. It's good to practice, to try to see what your body can do, but we need to keep the rate of rotation going. So left side down is one really important part of that. There are loads of other areas in the golf swing that really help your ability to be able to rotate, which I call the variables or environment of your golf swing. And I have a course all about this called The Ultimate Guide to Rotation in the downswing, which is on my Skillist profile, which is where I do all my online coaching. There is a link in description, because that will tell you absolutely everything about rotation in a downswing and how to get it into your golf swing for your specific faults that you'll have in there. You'll be able to ultimately almost coach yourself from that course there. And if you still need help from there, don't need to go anywhere else other than that site for online lessons with myself. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.